Hello fiction fans, T.H. Leatherman here. Today I'm going to discuss magic systems, how to put together an effective magic system for the book that you're writing. As many of you know, I write urban fantasy, and my fantasy has magicians and werewolves in it. So I have to have a magic system in place that works for that story. How does it work? Who can use it? Exactly what does this magic system entail? These are the questions every author should be answering about their magic systems. Number 1, who can use it? What's the origin? And how does that culture work? What is it about the magic users in your particular world that is in common about each other? Is it something that people can learn, or is it hereditary? Son, you're old enough now, I can tell you that we have the ability to turn into goldfish. We can? How's that useful? Or maybe in your world you have magic items, and those magic items allow people to cast spells. So we have a magic stirrup that's been handed down through the family. I'm supposed to be a magic casting cowboy? Maybe people learn it in books. They have to go to school to learn how to do magic. What are the legends that surround magic? How did it come about? Who brought it to this world? Perhaps there are secret societies in your world of people that do magic. You have been chosen, young one, to join the secret society of sheep shaggers. We will teach you the magic ways of the sheep shagging. Whatever it is, magic has to have a history in your world, so keep that in mind when you're writing about it. Number 2, energy. Where does the energy for magic come from? Does it come from inside the magician themselves? If so, how does that work? How long does it take for them to wear out? Perhaps the magic comes from living things. Use the Force, Luke. I am your father. Perhaps magic comes from the elements. We must run, the Fire Nation is about to attack. Perhaps magic comes from divine beings. I will pray to my God that we can be healed and make it away from our enemies. Whatever it is, there has to be some sort of energy involved. Number 3, how is the magic accessed and directed? Perhaps there's a recipe that people have to follow in order to create certain spells. Bacon grease, belly button lint, toe jam. Ha 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 ha! Behold my garden snail army! It will destroy everything! Ha 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 ha! Perhaps it takes thought or will to cast magic spells. Perhaps it is done through communication, either written or by speaking. I invoke the power of ice cream, chips, and cookies. I will summon the great couch potato. Whatever it is, there has to be some way to cast the magic spells, and some way to direct those spells at who their target is supposed to be. Number 4, constraints. Where does the energy come from? How much of that energy is in the system? Perhaps if the energy is in the person's body, then there's only a finite amount. So after they cast the spells, then they need to recharge for a little bit. Perhaps it comes from the wider universe. And if so, how much energy is in that universe? How much does it take to cast a spell? Does everyone draw from it? And if so, does that deplete the power overall? Perhaps the spell energy is based off of knowledge. How much knowledge has the person gained? How much time did they spend in the library to learn all this stuff? Is there a school they had to go to in order to get that information and be able to cast those spells? Perhaps there are rare items that a person has to come up with in order to be able to cast a spell. For this spell I need Taylor Swift's lipstick case. How the heck am I supposed to get that? Number 5, weaknesses. Your magician can't be all-powerful. They have to have some sort of weakness. If they're casting elemental magic based on fire and water and air and earth, perhaps the opposite elements are weak against each other. So you can't use water against fire, or you can't use fire against water. Or maybe they cancel each other out. How does that work? You should know. Perhaps in order to be able to cast a spell, you have to be able to concentrate. This spell requires total concentration. Is that chocolate? Give me the chocolate. Squirrel! Number 6. There's probably some sort of dangerous thing associated with the magic. What is that danger? What happens if the magician uses too much of it? Perhaps there are certain consequences if the magician uses the magic badly. So I've used this magic to hurt someone. Now I can't use the magic for several days. Perhaps I need to apologize to the corpse of whoever it is I've killed. Ugh. Perhaps there are physical alterations involved. The more I cast this spell, the more I turn into a frog. Wonder if there are any lily pads nearby. Perhaps the magician becomes less mentally stable. Fireballs! I must cast more fireballs! In summary, there need to be some rules around your magic. Who can use it? What does it take to activate it? Where does the energy come from? What kind of constraints are on its use? Are there any weaknesses? Are there any dangers? These are questions that you have to answer within your magic system to write it believably. And remember, you're a writer. You don't have to reveal all this inside the first chapter. You don't have to reveal all of it at all. But you do have to reveal it, some of it, over time so that the reader gets a feeling for how the magic system works. Make it discoverable through the story. If you would like to see how I've done it, you can always check out my Patreon page. I post chapters of Cat's Tale every 2 weeks. You should check it out. It's kind of fun. Also, check out the book that I just published. It's the 3rd book in my sci-fi pirate series. Sunrise is now available in stores. Check out my links that come with this video. Thanks for watching. Subscribe to my channel. I post weekly. If you have a question or topic you want me to cover, message me on Facebook. If you enjoyed this episode, like or comment below. So long, fiction fans!